known him for years and had plenty of opportunity to cheat before if she so wished. We do of course have to text about the arrangements we have made for our daughter. But I assume you are not counting texts of that nature. I've had a thought myself. Seems like she will do anything to get back with me. Bar staying home instead of Butlins. Possibly worth marriage counseling before she goes. Maybe snap her back to reality. Or is this a lost cause? I suppose I held on because was an amazing person in there somewhere. Maybe she is gone, maybe not, if she won't show her face. I won't hang around forever. I want to be with her. Well, who she was and might still be. But she has to do some of the work, or what's the point? However, I'm not willing to risk my happiness to reconcile if I don't think that she is sorry for what she has done. I admit, I actually have to ask myself why sometimes. I'm not upset anymore, and I know that I could find someone else. It's very odd. My daughter became my primary concern when I found out she was texting another man. From then on it wasn't a case of I must get her back. I was very hopeful of it, thinking maybe if she sees me properly before Butlins she won't want to go. This however seems impossible. All that she asks is, so what about Butlins, every time. Without fail, it's all she cares about, and I have only one answer. I don't want you to go. If I was to say okay then, go, I'm sure she will work through it. She would be back straight away. She would never mention any of this again. It would be swept under the rug. She cannot be trusted right now, maybe not ever. She is a poison. If I give her an inch, she will respond by taking away all of my dignity bit by bit. I will not tolerate a third party in my marriage. I have betrayed myself. I feel like I have lost every bit of my self-respect. I went out drinking last night with some friends. Figured it's been a long while since I have actually had a night that I enjoy. Bumped into the girl that I met a week or so ago. You know where this is going. I told her to meet me in the car park at 1:30. It was 22:30 when I said this. My intention was to tell her that I needed to sort my head out, that I was a mess and didn't know what I wanted. That nothing would be happening between us. I met her at 1:30, as planned. By this time, I was heavily intoxicated. I said my piece, as planned, but it didn't stop there. I made the first move. I don't know why. We ended up going back to her place. And you can guess the rest. I guess the feeling of being wanted was too much for me to handle. I don't want a relationship with this woman. I get on with her. But I'm not even that attracted to her. I hate myself right now, and I don't know what to do. I didn't think I was capable of being this person. I have never done anything like this before. I'm going to have to tell this girl that what I did was wrong. It's not going to be nice. She will hate it, but it has to be done. I'm still going to file for divorce in the week. I feel like I have to tell my wife ASAP. We were supposed to be meeting up tonight so she could spend some time with our daughter, and afterwards we were going to go somewhere and have a chat. Obviously, what I have done changes everything. I don't know how to approach this. I have considered telling my wife what has happened. I feel she somewhat deserves to know. Besides, her reaction might help me judge if there is anything left that is remotely worth fighting for. I guess it doesn't really matter. If she wasn't sleeping with Ian, she will be after I have told her. Perhaps I should just sod all the honesty and get the duck out quick. Sometimes I can't help but ask myself, am I just being too honest in this approach? I risk much by telling her. If I am to tell her, tomorrow feels like the time. If we were to reconcile, yes, I would tell her. A marriage is about honesty and trust, but I'm assuming that our marriage is heading for the bin anyway. This is the path that is most likely. I'm asking people's opinions on whether I should tell her. We will have to become friends, or at least civil to each other if we are to do what is right for our daughter. Lies will not help this. Screw it, she's probably going to sleep with him at some point anyway. I have pretty much come to take this as fact. She will be going on that vacation. No stopping that. So, I told my wife what happened. She was shocked. She looked so sad. She didn't say anything for about 10 minutes. Then she asked about who she was, where we stayed, was she pretty, and what I think meant most to my wife. Did I cuddle her and did it mean anything? I answered honestly and truthfully to all of her questions, although she didn't pay much. What happened next was where it got strange. She gave me a hug and cuddled up to me on the sofa. We talked for a little about how we loved each other and how we had lost each other's trust. She said she wanted me back and didn't care how. She only wants to be with me is what she said. 30 minutes later, after driving to the shop, we had a good time in the car. And again after we got home, she stayed the night at my house. Another one in the morning and another once again a few hours ago. What the hell is going on? She was very touchy though a few hours before I actually told her though. I feel as if the good time would have happened whether I had told her or not, and there is no chance she knew already. Several things popped into my head as to why she seems so happy. She feels she has a guilt-free ticket to sleep with Ian. She has already had slept with Ian. Feels even or at least less guilty now. She is building me up, just to crush me. She doesn't believe me, thinks I'm lying out of self-preservation. So, I don't seem as useless. She really does regret everything, does love me, and wants me back. She is going for a weekend away to be with her friends. I still don't trust her. She has told me that life is too short to have all this drama. She wants to be with me. I can't help but feel the path we are on leads to a vicious circle. She won't trust me and so will cheat. I will probably do the same, that is unless I divorce her. It's all very strange. Update. And looks like it will probably be the last. So, the bonding was great. We were talking better than we have in a long while. Having fun, things were nice. I warned her that bonding was not the answer to our problems, and that she might feel differently when it's all sunk in. She agreed that it wasn't the answer, but that she knew how she felt and wanted to start over and do things properly. I of course didn't fully buy it but went with things and enjoyed our time together knowing that it was probably due to end soon. So, I went out to the club last night. Her and her friends turned up a bit later. No drama, no fuss. We had a chat and a kiss a few times but both stuck with our own friends. Her best friend didn't talk to me but that didn't especially bother me. I figured if things work out, we can iron out all the creases as time passes. So, we had arranged on Thursday that we would head over to my house at closing time, since our daughter was with my STBXW's mother for the night. That didn't happen. As soon as we left the club, she told her friends she was going home with me. They were not happy with her and ditched her. Turns out she had told them she was going back with them for some reason. Odd. She then started to act distant from me, wouldn't open up and got really defensive. So the taxi home was pretty quiet. Stopped at her house to drop her younger brother off, who was also out, and jumped in the taxi with us. And she decided she wanted to get out too. Said that she was staying there and didn't want to come back to my house. This is where I should have walked away. I went in with her to see what she was so upset about. She got angrier and started to shout, waking our daughter and her mother up. She wouldn't calm down and started to get hysterical. Her typical drunken state that I knew all too well. She continued to shout, and I repeatedly asked her to stop because it was upsetting our daughter. She responded by shouting louder. So in a moment of anger I picked our daughter up and walked to my house. 2-minute walk, with my STBXW shouting abuse at me out the door. 5 minutes after getting home I received a nasty voicemail. 15 minutes later while settling our daughter, she was banging and kicking on my door, waking my father and our daughter up again. I tried to tell her to go away. She responded by screaming. This led to a huge argument in the street that woke the whole neighborhood up. I tried to walk several times but she would just grab me and pull me back or try and push me over. She then tried to walk and I just got in her way. We kept this up for over an hour until around 4 a.m. The argument consisted of me telling her to listen to herself. She was very drunk, and her telling me I was a horrible person and that she hated me. It was clear that she hates the fact that I slept with Amy. She used this to pin the whole situation on me. Said that all she did was kiss Ian and that it didn't matter and she would never do anything like what I did. She eventually got a lift home with a friend. It was clear she no longer wanted to talk to me. She wouldn't even give me a minute to try calm her down. She phoned me this morning, wanting our daughter back, although she said she wanted to spend today with me. Turns out she had already organized to spend it with her friends. I don't know why she just didn't tell me. We then got to texting and she reiterated the fact that she was not over what I did with Amy and that it will take a long time for her to trust me again. I responded by trying to calm her down. We agreed that we would talk later in the day. I went to drop our daughter back about an hour later. I requested she come outside to avoid any unnecessary nastiness, but she insisted I come inside. She wouldn't listen to a word I said when I got in the house. Just started to shout at me saying that I was stressing her out. She then began to ignore me by texting away on her phone. There were her niece and nephew, each with their friends in the room at this time. They are all between 7 and 10 years old. It was horrible. In a moment of sheer frustration, I took her phone and walked outside with it knowing that she would follow. I didn't want to be in that room with all the kids. She followed me screaming all the way. I got so angry I smashed her phone on the ground outside. She threw things at me, and as I walked away, she screamed her final line, "I hate you, you've ruined my life. I don't ever want to see you again." An hour later the police turned up at my door. One of her neighbors had phoned the police. They had already spoken to my STBXW and brought a message that she no longer wanted to get back together and that she didn't want me to go anywhere near her house. I gave the police a brief description of the happenings over the last month or so and asked them to tell her that she was no longer welcome at my house and that I was pushing on with the divorce. We are both planning to see our daughter as planned. The police were told by both of us that seeing our daughter would not be a problem. The police, however, did inform me that because there was a domestic dispute report that the social services would now be involved. Neither of us are likely to cause problems for each other, or we risk a restraining order being filed by one of us. and I don't want my STBXW to take my daughter away. So here we are, divorce, no going back now. Cheers for all of your advice over this topic. Just thought some people might like to know how things turned out. We'll probably update this post a few times when I have more time. This has without a doubt been the most horrible 6 weeks of my life. I'm sad about the way things have turned out, but I have to accept the fact that we are not right for each other. I will be myself and stay single for a bit, try and work on what I did wrong and try and learn from it. When I am ready, I will try and find someone new. I just can't help feeling like no one will ever again fall in love for me, and I'm not sure if I will be able to love anyone. I have very low self-respect right now. I'm going to go to counseling and try and make some sense of the whole thing. Her friends are no longer any of my concern, nor is the life she will lead. The marriage is definitely over. We know that things will always be like this. Well, at least I certainly do. I do not want to be with that woman. She is not who she used to be. Nor am I the man I was. She took a step that led to the ruin of our marriage. It can't be sugarcoated. Her drinking habits caused arguments that can't be taken back. Some of the things said cut us both deep. I didn't always help things, but until Amy was involved I gave everything to try and fix the marriage. Even then I tried, but it wasn't enough. No, she won't be able to live the single life that she wants. You are right. I learned this when we had our daughter. She will learn it too eventually, and she will learn that she will have to work harder and dedicate her time better if she is to have a lasting relationship with someone. And I will learn to control my emotions better, and be a more caring and relaxed partner if I am to ever love again. I will stick around on this site, I think, or at least hope that maybe I can do some good here. Butlins is no longer relevant. It's none of my business. I just hope I may be able to stop someone from making the same mistakes as me that have led to our divorce. I wish my STBX the best of luck in the future. If she meets someone more compatible with her, then maybe they could have a great life. I thank her for giving me my amazing daughter. I'll always remember her fondly for that, and I hope that I will find someone who truly appreciates me for the man I am in the future. Thank you to all who have posted on my thread, regardless of how things turned out. You all helped me to get through the hardest 6 weeks of my life. And I mean that literally. If I have any further problems, I will start a new thread in the Going Through Divorce section and refer to this thread if people are interested. In the meantime, I will concentrate on getting my life back together as a single man, and I'll try and help as many people as I can along the way. So, I filed for divorce nearly 2 weeks ago. Prior to this, she kissed another man and walked out to be on her own. Started an EA. Told me it was over. I slept with another woman. We got back together for a week, had a big argument, then I filed. Ever since she was served the papers, she was upset and emotional. She hinted that she didn't want things to end, told me she still loved me, told me that she thinks we could have worked on things, told me if it's what I wanted then we would divorce. She said she didn't understand why I chose to divorce so quickly. This had been going on for a week. It played on my mind more and more until last night I went round and told her that I still loved her and maybe there was a chance to save the marriage, to which she replied that she thinks too much has been done, and that I made a decision and there was no going back and she just wants to be friends. She said we need a fresh start. Says she thinks we are two different people to who we were when we married. When I asked her if she loved me, she said I don't want to talk about it, this was painful. These are things I told myself when I filed for divorce. I knew I still loved her, but that I needed to move on for the good of everyone. I told my ex the same when she received the divorce petition, so why now does it feel like she is the one leaving me? Again, most hurtful perhaps is that she said that she felt the marriage was over before she kissed another man anyway. What? Really? Yeah, we were arguing, but it wasn't that bad. I can't help but feel like I want her back. I know I still love her. I don't know what to do. It took a lot of serious thinking and courage to go round and confront her. To tell her that things could get better and that I was no longer sure if I was doing the right thing. And now I feel like all the things she said were just lies so she could hurt me. I feel like she has just ripped my heart out again. Have I made a bad decision? Have I overreacted? Was I the one who ruined this marriage? I don't expect answers from you guys. These are just questioning I'm now asking myself. What the hell is wrong with me? I know that realistically that's what she's manipulating me. In some ways it's how it's always been. I haven't contacted her at all for around a week. We will just see what happens. In honesty, I have already given up hope of our. I'm just wondering if it was my fault that this all happened. Besides, I have now made choices and done things which would cause her to have problems with our anyway. It would always be false. In the last week I have been a piece of crap to say the least, sleeping around. For better or worse I've done it now. It seems to temporarily relieve the pain. A month later. So we're going through a divorce, not talking a massive amount, but speaking with a civil tongue when necessary for the sake of our daughter. On Thursday, my STBXW came round for a chat and got quite emotional about how she missed things and was upset because she was sad and lonely and slightly jealous that I was dealing with everything better than she was. Being the sort of person I was more than happy to try and help her as best I could, and so when she left at the end of the night, we agreed that she would come round the next day, as she said it was nice to talk to me properly again. The next evening, she came round as planned, and I had some friends already round. We watched some movies and had some drinks, and generally all of us had a lot of fun. It was just like old times. Everyone was getting along. When my friends left, things got a bit too friendly between me and my STBX, and we ended up sleeping together. When we awoke, she was really happy and was pleased that we were getting on. She went home as we were both going out for separate friends' birthdays that evening. After exiting the club later that night, she came back to mine with me. I did not try to sleep with her or show too much love, as I figured maybe last night was just the alcohol talking and I'd talk to her in the morning. And since that day was our anniversary, that we might be able to talk well. In the morning we had a chat about the relationships we had each been in since separation. We talked about how we missed each other and agreed that since it was our anniversary and was her birthday the following day, we would go out for a meal. She was really pleased with this, and before long we had a good time again. We spent a long time cuddling and being very close and intimate, and even had a shower together. One of the things that we always used to like doing together. We stayed in bed for most of the morning before I took her home on my bike. She said that she would see me later, as she had to pop round her friends for a few hours as they had some presents for her. After 3 hours with no text, I was a bit concerned as she wasn't replying. I could see where this was going. After 7 hours, she finally texted me to say she had decided to go to sleep and didn't want to do anything tonight. I took her birthday presents round from my family and tried to talk to her like we did on the Friday and the Saturday, but she was cold. She said she didn't want a relationship and wasn't ready for anything. I told her I thought that was unfair, as she knew how I felt about her. She wouldn't let me touch her and refused to tell me that she felt anything for me. Before I left, she told me she would pop round this evening and she would talk to me then. That's tonight, and right now I'm sitting at work asking myself what the hell happened. Did she just use me for a good time? Does she really feel something and is just scared? Is she purposely trying to destroy my happiness? She's coming round tonight and I don't know how to play it. 180 probably seems the best option. I have been apart from her for months now and have realized that I can be single yet still be happy. Yet I would be lying if I said I wasn't still in love with her. The way she is going, there will never be another chance. Hell, we won't even be able to be friends. We'll end up hating her. I've tried talking to her about it last night. She said she's not ready, but then why every now and again does she come round upset? I've told her I love her, and I've done the groveling thing in the past. I'm not going there again. She just says one of the following: it would be too hard. I'm not over it yet. I'm not ready for anything yet. I'm not in the right place right now. She can't just keep coming round, right? She says that it meant a lot to her, and that she had a nice time, but she won't tell me if she loves me or not. Her friends are toxic, and don't like me. They are immature and still think along the lines of, they split up. We don't like him anymore. One of them was so bold as to tell me to go away when I turned up at her door, completely oblivious to the fact that I was going to pick my daughter up for the weekend. They are trouble. It's all very hard, but I'm still so unsure on what to do. So, I waited all night, finally got a text at 11:30 p.m. It's late now. I don't think we have time to talk, maybe another day. In the end, I just phoned her and told her to stay out of my life completely. I told her that I want nothing more to do with her unless it concerns our daughter. I feel bad about doing it over phone on her birthday, but she didn't have the time to see me, even though I live a minute walk from where she does. I explained my reasons, how because of the way I feel about her it was unfair for her to come round on what would have been our anniversary weekend for a good time under the pretense that it was something more. She sounded annoyed that I was saying these things, like somehow I was overreacting. It was one of the hardest things I have had to do. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with that woman. I'm still completely in love with her and would do anything to have her back. But herein lies the problem. I have tried everything, and nothing has worked. I can't keep letting her walk in and out of my life. She has done this so many times since our split, and every time it makes me feel weak and upset. And this time, to go so far as bonding on our anniversary weekend was just too much. Going dark is the only way I see things getting better for my happiness. New OM, it wasn't the same guy, someone completely unrelated, but who I'm vaguely aware of. I don't know him well personally. My ex knows him slightly better, but most of my friends know him as a jerk. It happened at Butlin's. No surprise there. I'm not surprised she did it. Revenge perhaps. I have slept with several women since our breakup, but each time, it's because I have felt no hope at the situation. My STBXW has told me it's over and she doesn't want me back so many times I feel so lonely every now and again. And nearly always end up sleeping with someone else. But for her I'm not sure of her reasons. I expressly told her, before Butlins, that I wanted her back and still loved her. Yet she went and did it anyway. I know that I could work through this. I guess maybe she can't. She's taught me lessons, and they are the kind I won't soon forget. She will come back, but it will just be like the last time, no commitment. I know that now and won't give her the chance. You're right, I could play her, and to be honest I can't imagine it being too hard to do. Sometimes I get angry and think that maybe next time I'll do just that, but I'll be kidding myself really. If she was to ever come back, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd just fall for her and give into emotion once again. I cannot allow this to happen, which is why I have asked her to cease contact. Besides, if I did find myself able to play her, then I wouldn't. I'd already emotionally be in a place that I was aiming for anyway. Detached. I'll keep some moral high ground and just stay the hell away. Story 2. Don't know if I am handling this right. I've been with my wife for 8 years, married for 4 years, and have a son of 2 years. We're 35 and 34. She was in as the woman of my dreams. She left me in September. Asked me to let go of her and focus on myself. She was tired and couldn't give any more to the relationship just now, and she wanted to find herself and get some space and couldn't talk about it. She just said, "We both need change, but I don't know what it is." I was in shock, not aware we were in danger. She said she had been feeling down for the last 2 to 3 years. September was rough, living together in separate bedrooms, and she would not communicate. After a while I saw intimate text messages between her and her boss. I confronted her and she said she had a fling for 2 weeks and not an affair, and the last thing she was looking for was a new relationship. That was end of September. I believed her. She even believed it herself. I think she moved out October 1st to a small studio in the city. She asked me for a loan to finance the deposit, which she got, and I helped her move. We then tried our best to take care of our son and make sure he feels loved. Mid-October we go on a long planned trip to visit friends abroad, and she arrives 2 days later than planned, by agreement. And then spent 3 days together touring the city as a couple and sleeping in the same bed. Although no love making. In November, she leaves for 3 weeks of alone time to visit family abroad with our son. It's the first real break we're getting. I make the mistake of sending a 1-page letter at the end of her trip, asking her to think about what's at stake here. Why break up this beautiful family when it's all just about a neglect of real communication? I really thought I did the right thing, telling her not that I have changed myself, but that I had learned things about letting go and taking my own space. And I was ready to move on, with or without her, but naturally that I wanted her to join me. Her short answer was, "It's not so much about my relationship to you, but about what I need." Once she's back, I meet a friend of hers who tells me she knows she continued to see this man after she moved out from me. I'm shocked again. I confront her again, and true, she is seeing her boss. He's the CEO and she's the exotic and attractive pa. She confessed to seeing him once in a while. I'm devastated again, but also angry. Not once has she said, "I don't love you" or "I want a divorce." She has been stringing me along for 4 months with false hopes due to her own uncertainty. At one stage kissing with me and allowing me in her bed, talking about how we could move abroad and start over. Never told me she wasn't in love anymore, just that she loved me and wouldn't want any other man to father her son. That I'm the most beautiful person she knows. She even told me that she would probably regret this in 2 years. But once her boss left his wife and 2 kids in late October, she must have gained strength to let more go of me. Just this last week I reached out one last time in a very brief mail. I said I felt she had made big choices with consequences she might not have thought through. I invited her to an open dialogue about past and future and said that if she did not want this, I want to proceed with separation. Within the hour she wrote me a mail telling me our relationship had felt like a cage and that I had chained her up and kept her from becoming who she really is. That traditional family life is not for her. That she thought I had understood, she just needed space and time, but I kept coming back trying to fix things. In this mail she communicated more than she has for a long time. She wrote this mail not knowing that I had recently met her friend, and it's not true. I have supported her in everything. I let go in September when I understood what she was asking for, space for herself, and we both wanted a non-traditional life. Traveling, etc. Once you get that baby, it just settles down for a couple of years. Now she just wants to be free with no attachments and be an artist. The bottom line is we have a beautiful son of 2 years and she has felt bored in the relationship. We're both entrepreneurs at heart but took jobs the past year to get the finances stable while our son was little. The truth is we both wanted change but couldn't communicate. Our relationship has been one of great love. I'm certain in her heart she wishes we could somehow figure it out. She cries when we talk now and is very sad. She even wrote me a text saying she is having a psychological breakdown and is feeling bad. When I said to her please just speak to someone about all this, she accused me of wanting to fix her. So, she tells me to let go. Reaches out, then tells me I keep coming back to chain her up. It's impossible. I'm certain she is in a rebound relationship because she justified it with the words "it felt nice to have someone say I'm fantastic." I will send this letter within a day or two. Dear, I'm okay with it. We needed a change, both of us. You made your choices and I respect them. I wish you the best and that you're happy. Your last email to me makes it clear how many feelings are at stake for both of us. How much we agree on vital issues, how well I actually know you. But also, how much we have neglected real communication, and how much you have misunderstood my intentions for us and myself. How much you have boxed me in and put words into my mouth. I don't want to do that anymore. Now that I know the secret to your heart even more than before, it makes it easier for me to leave. For my own sake, I choose not to use negative energy on the way the last 3 to 9 months have been handled. We have to make sure our son of 2 years feels a maximum amount of love from us both right now, as he is already affected by this in ways it may only be me experiencing right now. I'll be sending the separation documents to you. I'm personally giving her the docs signed in a brief meeting. There's so much to say now as she so drastically has misjudged our relationship and not communicated, but I think there's no point in talking to her. Everything seems to get turned to justify her actions. My comment: hope you guys enjoy these short ones. Stay warm inside and let me get one more story up before Christmas.